Hey guys, I'm back with another booster box update, so let's get started. So the booster box market continues to be pretty red hot. Um, we're seeing a lot of price changes and demand increases. Probably the biggest ones that I can think of are Paldea and SV base, and maybe Paradox too. Pretty much the early Scarlet Violet boxes, except Obsidian, they've all went up. But Paldea has finally gone to $225 a box. It was like 210 yesterday, and it was like it was just 200 like on the 12th, so like a little more than a week ago, and you get on sale last week for like 195. Um, so yeah, it's starting to. I don't know exactly what happened. Thought I saw more sellers selling at the lower price yesterday. I don't know if they took it off, but I'm seeing or they raised their prices. I think this Gamer's Choice may have been like a little less expensive, and now they raised their price. But now it's 224. Paldea is considered like one of the best booster boxes to Scarlet Violet. Maybe Palsy the second one. Like a lot of people consider like I think Surging, then Paldea. Maybe Twilight is somewhere around there too. But it's definitely one of the top boxes. I think of um, Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, sort of territory. Maybe at worst, like a Chilling Reign. But yeah, it's definitely something that will do well long term, and it's getting pretty good demand. You see over this is happening for a lot of boxes. The chunk over here in the second half of the month is more demand than the first half, and yeah, so Paldea is just you're seeing the gains you realize for Paldea. It's always had long term value, but that's not the only thing. I don't want to just hype up Paldea. Like a lot of other boxes are seeing actually strong data, even after I saw the earlier signs a few days ago. SV base the last 2 days, like the sales have gone a lot higher than normal. Normally, like it was around 10 to 15 boxes early February, and then it started rising to sometimes around 20, and then now we got like 30 and 45. So, and then when I like to look at the listings as well. So you see 165 above MSRP. But even after that, you get to 170 after just four more boxes are sold. So part of this is because these are kind of the cheapest booster boxes you can get. Like Paldea Vault is literally, except for Pokemon Center's Temporal Forces, in the US on CCG Player, it's the cheapest booster box you can get. Even like Bell's Dells is at 175 right now. Um, so yeah, and then Paradox is kind of the same way. It was before 165, not to 172, and that's actually become comparable to other booster boxes. So yeah, Scarlet Vibe base is seeing a lot of strong movements. Obsidian Flames, the price didn't increase, but we did see a spike yesterday at 21 boxes. There's still some boxes being sold at that price. Again, it kind of depends when the supply actually runs out, and also when kind of sellers who are trying to like be the lowest listing and sell it now, when they finally run out or they finally move up their prices, or when they kind of stop appearing. Paradox, yeah, we're seeing like I said in the earlier videos there was a lot more demand this month than before, and you can see over here like there's a clear division from just after the first week of January, starting January 11th, there was like pretty consistent like good amount of sales, and that's kind of being shown. And yeah, it seems like Paradox is finally starting to maybe run out of supply. Um, the total supply might still be relatively large, but the amount of people who are willing to sell um, is kind of going away. At least the ones who got at the lower prices. Um, it's at 172 now. The next price point that would be significant would be 175. Maybe 175. But 175, it would take five boxes to sell, and a 180 is probably the next big one, and that will take uh, it's like $6 to sell. So yeah, Paradox is on its way up. I'm sure other people will flood to the market a little bit to sell their cheap boxes. But yeah, I told you guys like I didn't. Some of this is happening a little sooner than I thought it would, but there's gonna be some fluctuations. Some things will continue to stay high because the accepted price will be just higher. Um, or like there'll be new sellers being introduced to the market who are finally selling their boxes, but those will eventually dry up. So there's a little bit of patience, but honestly, this is quite fast. Um, Yeah, the other boxes didn't rise as much. Like Temporal kind of just recovered because there was like again, there's gonna be some lower listings. There was a lower listing for 170. Now it's going back to 180. Again, get it from Pokemon Center. If But honestly, the Pokemon Center one, I'm sure it's getting crazy attention right now. I want to do like an estimate of what I think the rate could be. Um, but yeah, don't. It's kind of the last. It really is like a no brainer buy if you're gonna get a booster box. Um, Twilight just went down a few dollars. Stellar Crown went down like $2. Searching's price went up $1. So the price changes aren't that interesting, but the changes in demand. So Twilight had a spike yesterday at 25. Um, I feel like Twilight will have possibly some resistance to go higher. Um, if the demand continues at 25, probably not. But I think that like Paldea, like at this 200 price, there's just like more resistance of being able to sell it. And also like yeah, there are these low ball sellers like Heavy Tech and Siege Castle, which I keep saying, and they keep making the market price lower. But once they run out, you know. But yeah, I don't. It seems like Twilight's gonna be a little slower to increase because it's already so high. And there's fear of reprints. Stellar Crown, even though it went down a little bit, I'm not really that worried. Um, People are just kind of selling their boxes and getting used to the new price point. It's kind of simple as that. But even at, it's kind of more like there's just a couple of low sellers right now. Because let's see, it's like 176. Once you sell out these three boxes, it already goes back to 185. So it's not really a big deal at all. And then Surging Sparks still strong at 258. There was a shrink in demand the day before, but then yesterday it went back to 24. And yeah, like Surging Sparks, it's one of those boxes that, from my experience, if people are looking for Facebook Marketplace deals, like they do ask for Surging Sparks. So the demand is clearly still there, in my opinion, and the price point kind of reflects it. Okay, so I want to go to Sword and Shields. Sword and Shields also heating up a little bit, not necessarily in terms of price as much, but in terms of demand. Um, Vivid Voltage and Battle Styles, they went down just a little bit. Not really that big of a deal. Like, they have the sort of effect that they were very recently just sold out in Pokemon Center, and so there's still quite a bit of supply out there, and people are kind of going to the market and going out of the market. And so that's gonna kind of hover for a while. I feel like. Astral Radiance went up to 249, which is kind of its peak. It was at 249 or like a 250. I mean, somewhere like I did check back before. Um, 240, like it was in the 240s. Like at 249, it was there for 2 days or for 2 days, like the mid January, 11/14, 11/15. So it's kind of back at the peak. Lost Origins kind of recovering back to 370. In general, I'm seeing like good strength in Sword and Shield. It still kind of seems like Scarlet and Violet's a little hotter. Um, but if you want to get in Sword and Shield, there is like some activity there. Like we're getting out of the kind of slowness, and like I'm starting to like want to say like the bull market's starting to get hot again, and we're starting to exit the slow period. I don't want to like over exaggerate that, but based on the data, it seems like we're starting. I'm seeing more demand there for certain products, pretty much from what I'm seeing. Um, yeah, Darkness Blade had two sales yesterday. It seems like I'm gonna call this like it's kind of price resistance or like accepted price effects. Like there's some sellers who are just sort of like, hey, this is the price, I'm okay selling at that, and then there's not enough buyers who kind of want that price, so it kind of stays at that price. But I keep seeing, even though there's sales of Darkness Ablaze, um, I keep still seeing at 200. Even a lot of the other prices are close to 200. Um, it'll take some time for the data to move, and once the data starts moving to like, oh, there's more demand, then the box will start moving. But currently at the moment, I think that some of these boxes, like, there's just you can still kind of get them at decent prices and maybe even from good sellers sometimes because people have not shifted their mindset to like what the price is about to really be. And so this is sort of where there's potential deals if you want to get in on these booster boxes. So yeah, Vivid Voltage over here. Like I'm not really that focused on Vivid Voltage and Battle Styles right now. Like I'm just gonna wait until this flux period kind of happens where like it could suddenly shoot up one day, but I'm not gonna hold my breath Like there's plenty of people who have vivid voltage and battle styles who just bought it recently, and so they can list their boxes for a quick profit. And yeah, it doesn't make sense to over worry about them, but demand is kind of increasing. Chilling Rain. What I'm seeing with Chilling Rain is that it's still kind of on sale at 310, and like there's even one like reputable looking seller. 100% feedback, 10,000 sales for 310, and there's four boxes. So what I'm seeing with some of these boxes is that if you're kind of window shopping and you like to see TCG player prices, then like there are some opportunities for like to get it from more reputable sellers because some of the risk is that you can get it at the lower price, but some of these are like sellers that are kind of iffy, like 0% feedback per year. I probably wouldn't buy from that. But sometimes like yeah, there's some like bigger sellers who just need to sell. And also like I'm kind of thinking like when I make my prismatic video later, some of the people who will Pokemon products like they have lots of money and they can just hold their products, but I don't see a lot of people. They're either like the short-term investors or the FOMOers who are like trying to get the quick buck, or some of them are like LGSs who would love to hold product and they do hold some of it, but then like they kind of need bills to pay. Like they have bills to pay, like during together like their next allocation, which happens like recurring cycle. So they have to pay for that and then reallocate that capital because like they're allocating a lot of their capital to the new products, and if they don't sell it, then they don't have any more money. So it's kind of like I think that's also going to start to happen over time. Some boxes will become on sale because, or some other products, like I think Prismatic might go on sale a little bit because people need to pay for journeys together. I don't know the exact timing of that though, but yeah, I'd love to know the exact timing when people exactly pay for that. Evolving Skies, Evolving Skies, it remained pretty much around the same, but I do see a little bit of demand there at two boxes there. Um, it's still like it kind of happens every now and then. It's better than zero, but yeah, after this one like 1320, it goes to 1335 and then 1365. So like Evolving Skies has always had potential to just shoot up again. Um, but yeah, we'll see when the demand actually kind of increases. Fusion Strike continues though kind of strong. Like four boxes were sold yesterday. The price hasn't really moved at all, but it's like it's still pretty consistent in sales considering it's the second most expensive booster box in Sword and Shield. Um, and then, but yeah, for some reason I just never see it past this box. I don't know if people just aren't buying this one, but after 450, it's at 465, which is like a good jump up, and there's a bunch of sellers at 465. I want to see. Yeah, unfortunately, they don't show listing plus price, so I don't see anyone selling at like 465 necessarily. But Fusion Strike seems like it just has enough demand that's gonna it has to go up, especially with everything else going up. Brilliant Stars, demand is increasing from that, but there's still a lot of boxes at like 290 relatively. Um, I feel like Brilliant Stars is one of those things that like yeah you see some better sellers, and so I feel like it's kind of primed to go up. I think demand will keep going because it's kind of a nice. It's a Charizard set. It has like the Charizard Chase card. It's not necessarily like like not everyone's looking for the Chase card compared to like Lost Origin, Giratina, or like the Moonbreon. It's been at this price so long though. I feel like it's just primed to kind of go up as this demand just increase. And there's plenty of like decent sellers if you like TCG player pricing, to get it from versus like these more riskier sellers. Um, Astral Radiance, which went up like I told you like to its peak. It's also another like cheaper booster box at like 250. Journey Together booster boxes are like 200. But this is sort of investing style. Journey Together is more like a quick flip, and then this is more, which will have like bigger price increases possibly because of the supply shortage. And this is more of a longer term investment. But yeah, we are seeing a little more demand in Astral Radiance, which it's not really the best set ever, but at the price point, it's like pretty good. So I think that's why people are going for it. Because after that, like you have like Silver Tempest, Vivid Voltage Battle Styles, which Silver Tempest sold out recently ish on Pokemon Center. Like it sold out like end of last year. I think Astral Radiance and Brilliant Stars, as far as affordable booster boxes, they're kind of more in that like nice range. I do like Brilliant Stars more, and yeah, it's definitely a little more expensive though. And then Also, Origin went up $10. It's starting to go back up. You see this recovery. Um, 6 boxes or so yesterday. And then when I look at this, like after 370, it goes to 380, 385, and then like there's 400 over here. So yeah, I'm telling you, like if any of the boxes start picking up demand, like there's enough price jumps that like you can just go to like the next price range pretty easily. Um, I just the timing is just mostly last timing, but that's why like I'm telling you guys right now, there's opportunities because you know it's not like an immediate rush, but if like I just know that some of these boxes will go up, like all of them are going to go up, and some of them will go up faster than others, and some of them have better opportunities, especially if you're the window shopper type and you're looking around. And Silver Tempest, demand is always kind of good for that, but again, it kind of recently sold. I feel like Silver Tempest is kind of I kind of would desire it more than Astral Radiance in the sense of like I think it has a bigger chase. Like there is a real chase card like the Lugia versus like Astral Radiance doesn't really have that. Like has like a champ, but people aren't really like craving the Machamp card. It is about the same price as Astral Radiance, and I kind of would be surprised if it eventually overtook it. But right now we're having a resistance because a lot of people have the boxes because they just bought it for MSRP relatively recently. Um, but yeah, I'm just looking at some of my notes because I was trying to make some like generalizations. Um, yeah, I think that essentially what I'm looking for is when, like for Chilling Ring, for example, it's a good one. Like I kind of call it like right now we're in the sort of market sentiment is like there's a lot of window shoppers and deal shoppers. Like the market is heating up a little bit, but most people are just looking at the price or like they're like, oh, I want it to be lower than that, or like I'm looking for a deal, so I want like the lowest price. Versus it gets really um expensive when there's like big FOMO or there's like some long term like people want to buy the box and just hold it for like years because they have a lot of money and they're just like I just want to get out of all my skies. Um, and so like there's a FOMO from like things like Surging Sparks, Joining Together, and Prismatic because like they're recent products and there's low supply. But like over here, like when I look at the price demands increasing, I look for um is there more FOMO of like oh shoot like Sword and Shield's about to heat up. People like I should get in on this. Maybe I could get a quick flick. Maybe I do long term value. Honestly, like I've heard this before. A lot of people who think they're gonna sell long term, they really don't. So they're looking for at least a quick flip. Um, but yeah, that's gonna eventually happen, and when that shift happens, like the prices are definitely gonna increase. All right, that's it for today's video. Thanks, guys. Bye.